guys, welcome back to my channel. It's G from Happiness and Crafting. So today I thought we would do a little bit of resin work using UV resin. Now I'm going to be using these lovely coloured UV resin from Liquid Resin. They come in all different lovely colours, and this is great if you're a beginner because you don't have to mix any colours. They are already mixed for you, but you do need a UV lamp. So I'm going to be using those. I've got this lovely double lamp from Liquid Resin as well, which is their advanced lamp, which I love. And if you've seen me do resin before, that's the lamp I always go to. It's fab. I do have some mica powders that I might use. These are beautiful. All the products will be from Liquid Resin today. They are lovely, absolutely gorgeous. So I made this one, which I made into a little brooch, and this was for one of my journals to go on the spine. So today, this one is a little bit thicker than this one, I think you can probably see, and I'm using some wire. Now I'm going to be using this wire. This is 22 gauge wire. Now if you've got thicker wire, I would suggest using a bit thicker, but I don't have any thicker, because then you'd get a little, sort of like a little bit more of an outline, if you know what I mean. But loving it. So what I'm going to do to start with, I do have like a template. Now this is the template that I used for this one, a rough template, just to get some sort of like shape to the wings. Now I'm going to use a smaller one today. Now I'm going to use my wire, and what we're going to do is quite simple. We are just going to do a little outline like this. So take a template. You can print one off the internet, and if you already have these from my kit, then you could use some of these as well. I'll pop the link down, but you can get you know, some templates from Google. Just Google them and you'll get a little template that you can print out. So I'm just going to bend that. I'm not going to do anything fancy pantsy. This is the hardest bit. Okay, so we'll just bend that round like that, so we get like a rough shape. And then I'm just going to take my pliers like that and just snip that off there like that. And then I'm going to do another one. So it's quite simple. If you're good at bending wire and you can bend your own butterfly wings, then fabulous, you can do that as well. I'm just going to take this, just a little bend in there like that, and then go round. We can bend these again in a minute to make sure. We'll put them both together in a minute, and make sure they're sort of a similar shape. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can have a little wibbly wobbly butterfly if we need to. Okay, so these are my little wings. So let's see, are they sort of the same, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? So pretty much the same. I'm going to just take my little pliers and just bend that in a little bit more like that. We don't want too big a butterfly today, so we just bend that in like that and just round them off. So once you've got that basic shape, can you see, like that, then we want to make sure these ends are roughly the same size, just like that. Just snip those off. Perfect. Right, I'm going to pop that to the side. Now we can just have a little peek like this to see what they look like. So that looks pretty good, doesn't it? Little butterfly wings, not too bad. And then what we're going to do, we're going to do something for the middle of the little body. What I've also got this ready, which is double-sided. It's not double-sided tape, it's tape like this. And what you want to do is have this sticky side up. So we can stick this to that in a minute, so we know it's flat. So I'm going to take a little bit more wire. I'm just going to snip a little section off for this. I'm going to take my little round nose pliers, and I'm going to make a little, whoops, I am going to make a little circle at the top, just like that, little circle like that. This is just for his little head, and then we're going to have the body, so just about that long. We don't want him too big, do we? Bend that up like that, and then we've got the little body. Just going to make that a little bit bigger at the bottom and bend that up like that, just so we've got a little butterfly body, and then chop that off. I'm just making this quite sort of basic, because you can obviously make yours as advanced as you like. Do you know what I mean? But I know lots of you are just starting out on resin and UV resin. No, we've got a little wonky body there, but that's okay. Let's just squeeze that together like that. There we go. Okay, that's our little body. So what we're going to do, we're going to take this. Now this is the sticky side up, because we want to make sure this is stuck down properly. So I'm just going to pop him on there like that. Now to stick it down, I found if you get one of your little sticks that normally come with your resin, push that down like that and long ways, and then that will make sure he's stuck. He's a little bit wobbly, but does that matter? No. Right, let's pop this little one on. So we want the wings to touch the body. Where's these? Let's just pop that on there. Just for me, we want those wings to touch the body, and we're going to just stick these down as well. This tape is quite sticky, and then we take this little wing and do the same like that. Okay, when you do it, take more time. Just make sure you've got a little bit of time to do this. It's a little bit wonky, but we don't mind. We don't mind a little wonky butterfly wings, do we? So there we go. Okay, now the other thing I've got, I have made some little shapes like this. I don't know whether you can see, like this. That's probably better on here. Which are very, very simple as well. Just take a couple of pieces of wire. Now I'm using the silver wire, but again you can use any wire that you've got as well. I'm going to take two which are the same size. I'm going to take my little pliers like this. I'm going to just bend that round. There we go. So we have that little sort of teardrop shape like that. So really, really simple. Just bend it round like that, and you make yourself a little teardrop shape. So you want to make sure they're sort of in the middle like that. I have got a couple more here that I've made, and I've also got some smaller ones like this. It's not quite together. Let's stick that together. Oops. So you want to sort of like make sure that they join. We don't want that big one now. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some tweezers. I'm going to take this. No, those tweezers aren't very good. Let's take this. And I'm going to pop it in there like that. And then I'm going to take another one. I'm going to turn it around this way. It's easier for me to do it like that. Pop that in there like that. So we've got them sticking out. Then get your lollipop stick again. Push those down so they're stuck to the tape. Not the very best looking butterfly I've got here, is it? Shall we take another two? Pop that in there like that. Take this one. Oops. Let me go around this way. It's easier for me to do it sort of like from this side. I think that one's too big. How better? There we go. Don't need to go up a little bit. There we go. Nice little butterfly, little friendly butterfly, doesn't it? There we go. My wings are a bit wonky. Now what I'm going to do to make the little circles, because I've got these little circles in there which look lovely, I think, I'm using jump rings. So I found that to be the easiest and quickest way to do this. Instead of making yourself any little rings, we shall pop these on, but make sure that they are flat like that. That's it. Perfect. And then I'm going to pop one little ring there, one little ring there. Oops, stuck down. Gosh. Now the other thing is try to leave a little bit of a gap. This one is quite big, so you want a bit more of a gap here so you can get the resin around it, because it's a lot easier to do it like that. I don't think I quite got my butterfly wings even, but I'm sure this will give you an idea of what it's going to look like anyway, of how to do it. I have done one. I want to do a flower as well. I sort of bent some wire around to make a little flower. Look at our little butterfly. What a little cutie. Okay, let's just stick that down like that. Now I am going to use, now we've got that, the basic of our butterfly, I've got some chain, so you can see I've added a little bit of chain just down his body. This one, these are little individual ones, so you could do that as well, but for this one I'm just going to use a little bit of chain. Let's just see how long we want it. Out there. One more, there we go. Perfect. Let's have some chain, and then I do have some this little one to go in his head, for his little head. So now what we're going to do, I'm going to take, not yellow, I'm going to take this caramel colour, and I'm going to pop a little bit in there. Now first thing, I'm going to put my gloves on. Do remember to put gloves on, whatever resin you're using, whether it's UV or epoxy resin. Pop your gloves on because you don't want it on your fingers. So let me just pop these on and make sure your window is open. My window is nice and open. Sorry, let me just get my gloves on. There we go. Perfect. So we are going to pop some of this one. I'll stand these up. This is just the caramel colour, and I'm going to pop it into here. Now let's just see, do I need to go a bit closer? I think I probably do, don't I? There we go. That's a bit closer, so now you can probably see my butterfly a little bit better. I'm going to pop a little bit of this just in there and in his little head, like that. Pop the lid back on. Let's just get a little toothpick, and I'm just going to pop that around like this in his body. This is just to hold the chain in. Let's see, so I'm going to take this little bit of chain. Oops. I'm going to just lay it down if I can in here like that. Oops. Here we are. Squash that in, see in. So that's our lovely little body, and then we've got our little diamante crystal there for his head up there. There we go. So that's lovely. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pop that under the light just for a little bit, just to set a little bit. Now I'm going to use this. Now this is a coaster. This is a silicone coaster mold. I've still got little bits of resin in there, but they've all dried. So this is the one that I'm just going to mix up some colour with, because it's easy, because then I can just pop it under the light and it will set, and I can just peel it off. So what colour shall we do? Shall I do a little bit? Should we do a little, actually should we go for the blue? Should we do a blue one? So I'm just going to pop a little bit of this on there, like that. And I'm going to pop just a little bit of glitter in here, just to mix it up, just a tiny bit. You don't need a lot. Take my cocktail stick, and I'm just going to mix that up like that. Might need a little bit more. Don't think I've quite got enough. Let's just add a little bit more. Right, let's just turn that off, bring that out. So look, we've got that, our lovely little butterfly. Not a little, I mean the little crystal bits in there. So this little bit that I've done, can we see? I'm hoping you can see. Like that. I probably shouldn't have done blue on blue. I've got blue background to this. So I'm just going to fill his wings in like this with the blue. And bring it right down in there. Take a little bit more, pop that in there. I find it easier to work with a little cocktail stick. There we go. I'm going to just turn it around. Take a little bit, plop it in there. Like that. Maybe we'll do a little green and blue butterfly. Just pop that in there like that. So we've got some resin in each of those. Let's pop a little bit more in each one. Turn that round. Better to put in not enough than too much, because we don't want it going over the top of the wire, but we need to make sure that it touches the wire to hold that in. Okay, I'm going to pop that, you can see that looking lovely. I'm going to pop that under there. I don't need to set it completely, I just want it to sort of dry. Now I've got a little bit left here, so what I'm going to do, I'm just going to add to that. I don't really want to sort of throw it away. I'm going to add some green into there like that. A little bit sparkly in there. I'm going to add a little bit of this, which is just called green. It's green. So I'm going to take a cocktail stick, just add a tiny bit of this mica powder into that. Put that on there. This is where I make a big mess. Let's just mix that together. Can you see it's got this lovely, sort of like an oil, isn't it? Oil on water, which is beautiful. Do you think I've got enough in there? Right, that should be. Let's turn that off, bring our little butterfly out. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to colour his wings. So let's just take this. Just go around. I like to set the first colour, because if I drip this onto the first colour, I can actually wipe it off then. But if it's not set, it will just sort of like blend in with it. It will sort of like mix in. So I want to make sure we go right in on here. So I don't know whether you saw, I did a dragonfly one a little while ago now. Which I loved. So I think I might try and do some dragonflies like this sort of style with this sort of wire. I think his head might be a bit too high on this one, but we shall see. Just go around, and if you've got, you know, a little cocktail stick or something like that, it's so much easier to get into the little bits. I'm going to just turn that round. And these just make beautiful, if you do journals, or if you wanted to make a brooch or anything like that. These are nice little dingly danglies, because I do like little dingly danglies off my journals. I'm sure you can find all sorts of uses for these. In there. I've got this actually on an acrylic block because I find it easier, and then I can just sort of like move it about in different sort of directions to fill in the resin. Actually, I might have too much resin. Then I might do a second layer on this. Let's just pop this in like that. So if you go with colours that sort of like you can mix together, then you're not wasting any of your resin either. Like that. I think I might make a few beads with this in a minute, because I think I'm going to have a little bit left over. Not beads, but little sort of like cabochon thingy-majiggities. What do you think? That looks pretty, doesn't it? There we go. Right, I'm going to let that just go under the lamp for just a minute, and then I'm going to add a little bit more on top. So can you see? So sweet. Pop that in there. Pop that on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to just leave this for a second, make sure we don't sort of dry, and then we can do that. And then actually what I might do, I might mix up another little bit. What should we pop in there? We could probably, if I do yellow, we could probably have little, maybe mix a little bit of gold in with this. Oops, all bubbly. See, these are all lovely because they're already coloured, which are absolutely perfect. So, like I said, if you're sort of new to doing this, all of these little things are just perfect. Oh, I think that might be a bit too much. Just a tiny little bit of gold in with this one, shall we? Oh, shall I use that cocktail stick? Let's just use this. Oh, look at that. Fabulous. Here we go. Okay. I think that should be done. Look at that. Doesn't it look so pretty? Right, let's just use this green. We'll go back in and just add a bit more on the top. Now, when you're adding the resin, try and make sure you hit the or touch the wire, because obviously you want it to stick to the wire, and then it won't sort of like come apart. Make sure that's over the top of the wire as well. Pop that on. Shall we get right in there? And then the little gold can be for the little holes, for where we pop the little jump rings. So pop this on, and I will probably go over the top with some just clear UV resin as well, and on the back. So we will do that at the end, so it makes it just that little bit thicker. But like I said before, if you've got thicker wire, I mean, use that, because it gives you a bit more of a area which you can sort of like flood with resin. It will make a little bit thicker. So I think I'm going to have to get some thicker wire to make some more of these. I think it sort of like makes them a little bit more sturdier. But it's such fun to do. But when you do it, just take your time. Don't rush. And try to keep your UV resin away from your lamp, because when your lamp's on, because it will set. Which is a bit obvious, isn't it, really? So let's pop this here. It's quite nice when it's sort of like a little bit sort of like this one, it's raised a little bit. Do you know what I mean? This one is raised a little bit, but it's a little bit flatter. So it's quite nice if they're sort of a little bit chunky, I think. So a little one. I think I might have to put another little bit of chain on there. I think he's got a little bit of a long neck. Oops. Okay, so I think that's all around. Now I'm going to just turn this round. Let's just add a little bit of this gold into here, look. There we go. So that was the yellow UV resin with a little bit of gold mica powder popped into it. Like that. Just plopped in there. Just like that. Perfect. I will add a little bit more onto that. Can you see? Oh, he looks so cute, doesn't he? Let's pop him under there for a couple of minutes. And what I'm going to do, if I can, with my gloves on, is just cut. I only want, this is sort of like AB chain, which is so pretty. So use what you've got at home. Where's my pliers? There they are. I think I just want sort of 2 little bits. Can use all bits of broken jewellery in these as well. Would look beautiful, wouldn't they? Right, I've got 2, so let's hope that that's going to be enough just to go on the his neck, so he doesn't look so long-necked. A little. There we go. Right, I'm going to add a tiny bit of this. Let's just pop that on there. This is the caramel one. Let's see if we can fix his neck a little bit, shall we? Let's pop a little bit on there. Where's my little things disappeared? 2's enough on there. There we go. Oh, he looks a bit lopsided now. But I think that should be okay. Oops. There we go. Right, I'm just going to quickly set that for a second. Put these lids on. So these come in all sorts of lovely, lovely colours. I'll pop the link down below, but you've got all and they're 20 grams. So I've had these for a while, and they do really last a long time, because you only need a little bit when you're doing the UV resin and the colour. It's fabulous. So let's see, this is all right. I might be able to add a little bit more of this to there. Right, let's sort of set that for a little bit. I'm going to add, instead of wasting this, I'm just going to add a little bit more onto there, just around. Might have to make a little bit more blue up, I think. Maybe pop that in the hole. Let's just add a bit. But then again, I might just pop some clear over the top. But I don't want to waste this, do we? What's that got? Resin everywhere. Pop that round. And then you need to set it. You've got to pop it under your UV lamp for a little while. I'm just popping it under there for a few seconds at a time, because it just sort of sets it, stops it sort of like going all over the place. But to fully set it, you need to at least 5 minutes under there. I'm just putting this on because I don't want to waste it. I was going to make some like little cabochon things, but don't think I need to. I'm going to pop it on here. There we go. A little bit through there. Perfect. I think that's pretty much all on there. Is it a bit on there? Okay, let's have a little bit of this gold that's left. just add a little dot on top of there. A little bit on here. Oops, I'm just going to dot it in there. Lovely. There we go. Super duper. Let's pop that under there. Right, I'm going to give that sort of 3 minutes. Now, with this, I'm going to put this under the lamp as well, because this will harden and then I can just peel it off. So I'm going to just pop that under there for a second. Let's just give this a bit of a clean. These mica powders do make a bit of a mess. Like that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to get my UV resin. So I've got this big UV resin here as well, which is just the same. It's just clear UV resin, but it's in a bigger bottle, which is the same as these, but these have just got colour in it. So I'm going to take this. These should be dry, and we can just take this off. So there, they just peel off. This is not a coaster that I have. So I'm just going to, let me just clear this mess up and then I will be back. Okay, perfect. So that's dry now. I have tipped a little bit of UV resin from the big bottle into here, the clear. And all I'm going to do, I've gone in a little bit. I'm hoping that that's close enough. Take the clear UV resin and go over the whole thing. Like that. Let me do it this way first. Just tip that on. This will thicken up this side, and then I will go take it off, and then we will do the back as well. So let's just do this wing on here. So you can get really funky with your butterflies, can't you? You can do all sorts of things, which I might experiment, but I just wanted to show you a simple one, a nice, quick, easy one that you all should be able to do. A little bit of wire. You can probably use a little bit of florist wire. This is quite, you know, a nice one to do. Let me just turn it round this way. Pop a little bit down. I want to go over our little gems on there to keep them in place without going over, you know, the wire, without going over the edges. So just a little bit at a time. You can always go back and add a bit more. Layer it up. Let's just go up here. I think it's leaked a little bit over there, but we can probably cut that off. Let's just okay. Now I do have, which well, I did have the UV resin in the smaller bottles, so I'm gonna have to get some more. And then you don't have to do this, you can just sort of like do it from the bottle, but obviously I've only got that big bottle of it at the moment. But if you've got it in a handy size, then just use the bottle to pop this on. Right, so I'm gonna just leave that. Now it's leaked over the top of it there. Just going to pop a little bit here, in there, make sure we are got that covered onto there, so we can, doesn't fall off. Now if you can see, I don't know whether you can, I'm just going to wipe my toothpick off. It's leaked right in there. But I think we will have to get rid of that afterwards, so do take your time. But that's, I think that's all over. Right, I'm going to pop that under there for a second. Right, I'm going to pop that under there for 5 minutes, so then I will be back. Okay, so this is dry now, I'm hoping. So let's take this off because I want to turn him over. Let's see how, if we can get him off here. Take this off like that. Now you have to be really, really careful with this. It's not easy with my gloves on. And stick it. Oh, sticky, sticky. Got to be gentle with it as well because we need to put some resin on the back. There we go. Look at that. Fabulous. Right, let's pop this back onto there. If it will stick. There we go. We don't need that little bit. That can go in the bin. Oops, can't get it off my glove. There we go. There's our little butterfly. He's a funny looking butterfly, but where's my scissors gone? He will give you an idea. Now I'm just going to go into this bit with a pair of scissors, and that will just snip that off in there. You can use a pair of scissors or a little pair of pliers in there. So that's just taken that little bit out in there. Look at that little cutie. Right, I'm now going to turn him over, pop him on there. I'm going to go over, I was going to go over with some clear, but I'm going to use the green over the top. So I'm just going to use this. So I'm going to just go over the back, because it's pretty translucent, this green. Just going to go over the back of it, just to give it another, you know, bit of thickness to it, like that. Up and down over his little head. It just gives it a little, I like them to be a little bit thicker. I think they feel like a little bit more substantial then, especially if you're going to make it into a brooch. So just go over it like this. Perfect. I think that's pretty much. There's a little bit on the head down there. If you've got any bubbles on there, they probably will just give it a minute and they will just pop. But I think that's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to pop the lid on. Just going to get a cocktail stick. I'm going to make sure that it is touching the wire just around the edges. Just tap it like that and it will sort of like float out to the edge. Just make sure so it's touching the wire and then it won't sort of like come apart. We don't want it to come apart. We want to make it as solid as we can, like that. Perfect. Okie dokie. Right, that can go over there because that's got resin on. Going to pop, look, it's a bit of a wonky old one, isn't he? Bless it. Pop that under there. I'm going to stick that under there for 5 minutes. This is what I had left over from the clear. I just added a little bit of glitter to it. So that made into like a little cabochon, which is beautiful, isn't it? So all your leftovers, it's quite good to sort of like get a little something to, you can get heart ones, all sorts of little molds, just to put your little extra bits in, instead of throwing them away or wasting them. So pop that to the side. So these two, I'm just going to give you a quick show of these two again. This one is the one I made this morning, which is quite thin. This one I made, which I love. This took me quite a long time to do actually, because I did quite a few layers of resin on there. But it's just lovely. I just love it. And then the little crystals that are on there, which are beautiful. So loving them. So right, I'm just going to take my gloves off, wait for that to harden, and then I will be back. Okay, so there we go. I think he is ready now. Let's just take him off here. Pop that to the side. peel that off, stick that down. Look, a little bit there. Where's my scissors? See, the nice thing about this, you can sort of like just trim these up. So that's the back and that's the front. Oh, he's a funny little one, isn't he? Look at that. But aren't they lovely? So I will probably do another video and do a much better one. I'll do a little bit more sort of like thicker, a little bit more sort of advanced one as well. But I just think they are gorgeous and they are lovely and strong. So you can either pop a little thing for a brooch on the back. You can stick these on your journals. You can drill a hole through this with a little Dremel drill and hang it up as a little dingly dangly. Stick them on things. You can pop a little magnet on the back and have a little magnet for your fridge. I think they are just beautiful, aren't they? So that's using lots of lovely products from Liquid Resin, which are beautiful. So I will link down the Colors UV Resin, and I will also link down the lovely mica powders, because they are just beautiful. Because this has got lots of mica powders in it, and it's just so shiny. It's gorgeous. So there we go, guys. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you'll give this a go. It is so much fun, and it's really lovely, and you'll be surprised how well you will do, I guarantee. So please do give it a go. Thank you so much again for joining me. Have a fantastic rest of the day. Take care, stay safe, and I will see you soon. All right, guys, bye bye.